The Jets meet Houston in their home opener, and Pete Lammons, number 87, the impressive rookie from Texas, scores his first Shea Stadium touchdown on a pass from Joe Namath. Namath, number 12, getting nice protection from that big Jet line, triggers a torrent of scoring against the Oilers. The celebrated passer fires long. It's a 67-yarder to George Sauer and a touchdown for New York. Houston's veteran George Blanda drops back to pass and runs afoul of the Jet defense. Johnny Sample, number 24, makes one of the 4 New York interceptions for the afternoon. 2 of them are by Johnny himself. Watch the play action pass as Namath fakes beautifully to his right. Then he screen passes left to number 41, Matt Snell. Fine blocks by Sherm Plunkett, number 79, and Winston Hill clear the track, and Snell goes straight down the sideline for a touchdown. Shea Stadium sees another auspicious debut in the Jets' first home game. It's Emerson Boozer, a running back with an unbelievable extra effort. Only a rookie, this man has a big future in pro football. Here's a repeat on that play if you weren't one of the 55,000 fans who saw it happen. That's Boozer, number 32, in center screen. And it just doesn't look as though he has an opening. Time and time again, the Houston tacklers seem to have him trapped. But time and time again, he squirms loose and away. This is Boozer's second carry of the day, and he sure makes the most of it. From start to finish, he never stops giving it everything. It all adds up to a truly great beginning. Namath slips, but he doesn't fall, and he winds up throwing 5 touchdown passes. This one goes to veteran flanker Don Maynard as the New York Jets overwhelm the Oilers with a new team scoring record, 52-13. Winning ways, the Jets fly west to Denver to meet the Broncos. It's New York's ball as Namath leads them against the pepped-up Westerners. He screen passes to Snell, who heads for a 20-yard romp and a sideline collision with Denver coach Ray Malavasi. 8 different times on third down situations with long yardage needed, Namath comes through. Here it's Maynard, number 13, who snares the bullet that gives the Jets that big first down. Again, it's third down with long yardage needed to keep the Jet drive going. And once more, it's Namath and Maynard who pull it off. The Jets remain unbeaten as they turn back the Broncos 16-7. Namath to Snell for the touchdown that puts them ahead to stay. MIT loves the Jets, reads the sign in Boston as the Patriots kick off to New York. But no one else loves the Jets in Boston, least of all their famous quarterback Babe Parilli, who passes the Patriots to a fare thee well. While the Jets get throttled by Boston's defense, the Babe and his buddies proceed to rack up a commanding lead. The plain truth is that by the end of the third quarter, Boston is ahead of the Jets 24-7. With 13.5 minutes left, the Jets start their comeback. That same screen pass that worked so well against the Oilers, Namath to Snell, works again. And the score becomes 24-14 in favor of the Patriots. Though hard-pressed by Boston's tough defensive line, Namath sparks another drive. This time he passes to number 29, Bake Turner, for a 42-yard gain to the Patriot 14. 3 plays later, Namath caps the drive with a perfect strike to rookie end Pete Lammons. With only 8 minutes left, the Boston lead is cut to 24-21. Now the Jets defense takes over as number 60, Larry Grantham, blitzes Mr. Perilli for a 7-yard loss. With scarcely more than a minute to go, the Jets start rolling again. Namath drops back to fire one to Bill Mathis for 17 yards and a first down on the Boston 18. When the Jet attack stalls and 32 seconds remain, Jim Turner kicks a field goal, and the Jets remain undefeated by tying Boston in a thriller, 24-all. Back at Shea Stadium, the unbeaten Jets meet unbeaten San Diego to the roar of 63,497 fans. Biggest crowd in AFL history. Near the end of the first quarter, following a field goal by the Chargers, Joe Namath finds Matt Snell in the corner, and the Jets have a touchdown. 7-3 in their favor. San Diego's ball and the sparkling defensive play. Young Steve Tensley's back to pass, and his target is Lance Allward. But Al Atkinson, number 62, intercepts for New York and runs it back to the Charger 42. When San Diego holds, Jim Turner kicks a field goal from 33 yards out, and the Jets lead 10-6. The Jet defense plays a terrific game. Paul Lowe gets nailed by Verlin Biggs, number 86, and Paul Rochester, 72. The blitz is on. Watch Grantham zero in on John Hadle. He doesn't miss, and the Charger quarterback takes a 12-yard loss. But San Diego's explosive offense can't be denied. Quarterback John Hadle sets up a screen pass to Keith Lincoln, number 22. With a fine opening block by Ron Mix and another beauty by Jim Allison, Lincoln streaks down the right side for 67 yards to put the Chargers ahead 16-10. That's the Chargers' number 22, Keith Lincoln, one of the fine running backs in the AFL. Back come the Jets with only minutes to go. Namath connects with number 31, Bill Mathis, for a gain of 44 yards. Bill powers his way to the Charger 22. Namath keeps the drive going. This time he fires to Maynard, and the Jets have a first down on the San Diego 12. Here comes the clincher. Getting great protection from that Jet offensive line, Emerson Boozer sweeps to the left side and scores. The Jets win it 17-16 to remain undefeated through the first 5 games of the season.
Is a 25-year-old Texas Tech graduate whose crashing quickness will be felt by opponents for years to come. Joe Namath of the New York Jets will testify to Hicks' ability as a defender since WK picked off 2 of Joe's aerials in Houston's 24-0 conquest of the Jets. Although slowed by injuries in '66, WK has displayed great potential and should be a fixture in the Oilers secondary. Youth and talent cannot be kept down for long.
Now it's the Jets versus Oakland at Shea Stadium. In slow motion, you see Joe Namath scoring the first of 2 pro touchdowns on a quarterback sneak. Namath is preeminently a passer, but here he is on the bootleg play, and it completely fools the Raiders' defense. Here's a repeat on that play from a different angle with stop action. They're simply not looking for number 12 to carry the ball. He does, though, for 6 points. But this is the game where the tide turns. For the first time during the season, Namath gets spilled for a loss. Sometimes the breaks can really go bad. This pass play from Namath to Sauer is ruled as a fumble, though it's a questionable decision whether the ball was caught. At any rate, Gus Otto recovers for the Raiders, and Oakland takes over. With 2 seconds to go on the clock, Hura Dixon powers around left end for a touchdown. It brings Oakland from behind to a victory over New York, 24-21. And it's the turning point of the season for the high-flying Jets.
John Tracy and Mike Stratton have started together, a modern pro record. For Buffalo, beating the Jets means stopping Joe Namath. Ron McDowell zeroes in his target and gives Little Joe the heave-ho. Let's watch that one again with Ron McDowell describing the play.
Jim Dunaway and I ran a exit, as we call it, and I was fortunate enough to get Joe Namath. In fact, the only time today we got him with the ball, even though we knocked him down many, many times.
Often unnoticed, but never underrated, is the importance of the offensive line. The Bills are proud to have outstanding blockers like number 77, Stu Barber, working on the Jets' Verlin Biggs. Tight end Paul Costa clears the path for a Burnett romp. Al B. Miller opens a hole for a Carlton Caravan. Joe O'Donnell contains his man, allowing Jack Kemp to fire to Albert DeBenion. The men up front are doing their job, and it helps Buffalo in this drive for the top spot. The Bills move well against the Jets and pressure Namath into throwing 5 interceptions. The longest run of the Buffalo season is this 95-yard kickoff return by Charlie Warner. The former track star at Prairie View A&M took one 102 yards against Boston last season for the club record. After a 33-23 victory over the Jets, Buffalo tangles with New York for the second time in 3 weeks. And again, the secret of grounding the Jets is containing Joe Namath, a task that takes all the brawn of Big Tom Day, plus a little psychological warfare.
I try to help by going to Namath after he's been hit or throw the ball, and I go up to Namath and say, "How you doing, buddy?" And he'll look at me, and he doesn't say anything unless it's almost at the end of the game, and he's having a bad game, and I say, "How's it going?" He say, "Bad day, Dave, bad day."
A rough afternoon for the million-dollar quarterback, but a superb game for the Bills' defense. They hold the Jets without a touchdown and make the big play. A quick breather for Sestak and company, while on offense, goal number 72 tells what happens when New York's Jim Turner tries a 35-yard field goal.
Jim Dunaway, who's our big tackle, 290 pounds, blasting through the line over top of the right guard, Herman, and blocking the field goal, picking it up, racing 70-some yards for a touchdown. He knows he's being escorted in for, I feel, that Bill's trying to throw blocks for him, but Jim looked like he didn't need any blocks because he looked like a racehorse was tromping down the field. And as he goes into the end zone, you'll notice that he's hanging on that ball, and he's allowed not to give it up. He, of course, was awarded a game ball for his outstanding play, not just for this play, but for the whole ball game. And it was one of the biggest games of the season for us since we had to beat New York and eliminate them from the championship.
They called the 295-pound tackle Runaway Dunaway after that play, and Big Jim was duly proud. The Jets try to come back. 2 plays to score from Buffalo's 1-yard line. But the Bills' defense won't budge an inch. They hold the New York rushing game to just 60 yards gained in the 2 contests. The Bills have clipped the Jets' title hopes while giving a big boost to their own.
Stadium, the Dolphins play before their biggest crowd of the season, more than 58,000. A pair of Gene Mingo field goals boost Miami to an early lead over the Jets. The Dolphins are trailing when they pull a spectacular play. Watch Frank Jackson miraculously hang on to the ball in what must be labeled the circus catch of the year. The Dolphins battle back for another score as Joe Auer beats the Jet secondary on a post pattern. Miami goes down to the tune of 30-13.
Left for New York to play the Jets, they needed a victory to ensure themselves of a tie for the Western Division title. Mike Mercer's toe was the difference in this game. The sure-footed veteran connected on 4 field goals and 3 conversions, good for 15 points. Chiefs withstood a second-half aerial barrage by Joe Namath to preserve a Kansas City victory and run the Chiefs' string of unbeaten games to 6. Later that day, San Diego lost to Denver, and the Charger defeat coupled with the Kansas City victory gave the Chiefs the Western Division title.
The Raiders' 1966 passing game accounted for 26 touchdowns, with quarterback Tom Flores, number 15 from Pacific, Cotton Davidson, number 19 from Baylor, and rookie Charlie Green, number 12 from Wittenberg, handling the chunking chores. The Oakland record read 8 victories, 5 defeats, and 1 tie, a mark good for second place in the AFL's Western Division. The success of the Raider passing game was a big reason why. Back here at Dixon, number 35, was an outstanding receiver as well as runner. Dixon, a newcomer to the Raiders who had been a tight end through most of his career, established himself among the AFL's leading fullbacks in 1966. The extra yard became commonplace for the big guy from Florida A&M. Here at Dixon, whose nose always seems to be aimed goalward, scored 9 touchdowns in his initial season as an Oakland Raider. The Raiders' Clem Daniels, number 36. Daniels began slowly in 66, but still managed to run for 801 yards, the AFL's second-best mark. Daniels scored 10 touchdowns, 7 of them coming in a 3-game mid-season stretch. Veteran Purvis Atkins, number 39 of New Mexico State, who also doubled as a kickoff return specialist. That's the Raider offensive team, except for one group, the offensive line, without whom you could just about forget the others. Played his first season as a Raider. He was the AFL's Defensive Player of the Week, play against New York. That was the day he intercepted 2 passes, 1 for a touchdown, and was credited with 12 tackles. In their second year in the Oakland Coliseum. For 4 years, the Raiders have been...
The Chargers begin their last stand at Balboa Stadium with the New York Jets furnishing the opposition. A little razzle-dazzle is employed by San Diego. Gary Garrison's on the receiving end as the Chargers try to take the lead away from New York. The handoff goes to Jim Allison, who gets a clearing block from Walt Sweeney and scores. It's 14-9 San Diego. The defense gets a breather while the offense continues to sparkle. Paul Lowe sprints 57 yards, just missing the touchdown. San Diego's leading ground gainer finishes the job. After the Jets close to 21-19, John Hadel displays his versatility by bootlegging 20 yards. Watch the offensive line block as Hadel decides to run. Paul Lowe gets another block near the goal, and the payoff is a touchdown. San Diego's fortunes declined after losing to the Jets earlier in the season, and now New York must pay. Hadel pinpoints Jack McKinnon for 36 yards. The Chargers' exciting, wide-open style of play is what draws the fans. It's Hadel and McKinnon for another touchdown. Chargers 35, New York 19. San Diego's pass defense, led by Kenny Graham and Speedy Duncan, allowed the fewest completions in the league. Duncan makes a spectacular interception and then returns 14 yards.
What Duncan started, Paulo finishes by high-stepping 9 yards behind a block by number 60, Eddie Mitchell, for the touchdown. The Chargers win big over the Jets, 42-27, and go on to finish the season with a 7-6-1 record.
Nearly 59,000 fans fill Shea Stadium for the season's finale against Boston. In pregame ceremonies, George Sauer receives the CYO Award as the most popular Jet, and the stage is set for a football drama. It's Boston's ball first quarter. Babe Parilli hits Gino Cappelletti for a touchdown. The Patriots, out to win the AFL Eastern Division crown and a chance for the Super Bowl, are on their way. But the underdog Jets storm right back. The incredible Boozer takes Namath's handoff, slices through a wall of white jerseys. Look for the stiff arm now as he goes 54 yards before the Patriots can bowl him over. On 3rd down and 1, Namath and the Jets cast the shadow of doom over the Patriot hopes. Joe fires to Maynard for the tying touchdown. But more than that, all the wheels have begun to mesh. All the Jet talents have begun to gel. All the Jet promise has begun to come true. The defense matches the Jet offense when it comes to second effort. Verlin Biggs gets off the ground to help contain Jim Nance, the league's most valuable player and most powerful runner. Boston, tense and eager, finds the going tough. Parilli back to pass, but cornerback Billy Baird picks it off. The Jets have a chance to strike again as Bill brings it back to his 26. Three downs later, Namath lowers the boom. George Sauer, outmaneuvering his man, grabs the pass on the run. All the way to the goal line. This 77-yard scoring play busts the game wide open, and the Jets take a commanding third quarter lead of 31-13. They're playing the kind of ball that their talents and depth make them truly capable of. Parilli struggles desperately to get Boston back on the tracks, but Atkinson, Baird, and Philbin force a fumble. The loose ball is gathered up by Jim Hudson, who's pushed out of bounds on the New York 13. Everything finally gels for the Jets in this closing game of the season. And when Snell makes a final sweep down the sideline, they knock Boston out of its title dreams with a 38-28 triumph. Thus, the football machine of the Jets that started out so swiftly, then stalled in mid-season, comes back to full power.